You know how something is tagging at your heart and you want to talk about it? Well, what's tagging at my heart right now is that I believe that I don't know what's going to be happening in regard to my housing. You know, a lot of people are dealing with this emergency housing voucher thing as far as it being part of Section 8. And so I am one of them, because I came from a homeless shelter. And one of the things that happened to me was that when I went to go on medical leave, I called HPD to find out what income was allowed me to get this apartment. And I state that based on when I was in the shelter and I gave them information in regard to, it was called Granby Shelter. I gave them information about my income in reference to me having a pension and having a job. So I never really thought about it anymore. Until I went on medical leave. And what I found out was that only my earned income was included. I had already taken out $10,000 loan because I was going to have surgery and I did not know like how things were going to work out, because I was going to be out for 3 months, so I wanted to have a cushion. I wound up spending the money up, which I shouldn't have did. And it put me in some debt. But along with that, you know, that was foot surgery. I have other things going on with my body, and which is my spine, my back, and these situation with that has been for more than 10 years. And so just, you could say, actually last year, I really began to start addressing it. Because at the new site where I was at, we were constantly going back from one building to the next. And for the duration part of the time that I was there. And yeah, it was taking a toll on me. But I wasn't saying nothing. I was just dealing with the pain. But then some accusations came up against me. Like they were trying to fire me. And I said, you know what, Rosetta, go take care of your body. And I had left the job, and I didn't want to go back because how would you feel if you be on a job and you've never done anything out of the way, and all of a sudden you got people doing stuff to you? And actually, I could say trying to fire you to make it appear that you did something and I didn't do anything. So I was fighting back. And what I mean by that is that everything that they had, I had. Emails on, paperwork. And so when it came towards the fact, well, what was I going to do? I didn't want to go back to the previous job initially that I had, or site, because I had problems over there in reference to employers staff members trying to fire me again, or make it appear that I did something I wasn't supposed to do. And I had to fight that. And I called the union and everything. But I made the decision to go back. And now my situation is that even though I went back after fighting with the site I just told you about, with it, accusations was brought up against me, I decided to go back because I need a job. I do not have any support. I only have me. And but it's coming to the point where I actually need to leave the job. And because of my back situation, it is actually getting worse. You know, like this past big snowstorm we had on Sunday into Monday, which was I need to remember the date, the 22nd to the 23rd of February. That day before, that Sunday, or that Saturday, I'm not sure, somebody called me. I said, let me rush and go to the store, being that, he said, yeah, it was that Sunday, being that this, a friend of mine was talking to me about how the weather was going to be. I never experienced my body in so much pain just walking. Well, yes, I did. I had experienced pain in my body before when I had the surgery on my foot and I was out. Because along the way with my history of having this back and spine problem, I've always taken supplements to Baswale, turmeric, Inflow Motion, to help me to be able to deal with myself, function. But that night when I went to the store, I had to just take my time and walk slow. And I didn't really get too much of anything, but my upper body was in pain from my chest to my back. and my shoulders, because this is where all the pain is that I'm having. I had been scheduled to have surgery on the 13th, but it was postponed because the doctor who wanted me, who seen that my EKG came out a little abnormal. He said, well, you're not going to have no surgery until I find out how's your heart, because my EKG came out. And you know what? Yesterday I went to the doctor, which was the 26th. I went to the doctor to get my results from my heart examination that was done with the iodine. The doctor was surprised. And now listen, I'm going on 64 years old. He said, I can't believe this. He said, you have no plaque in your arteries. But I do have some weight on me. He said, you're good to go. Then I was asking, well, what's the matter with my EKG came out like that? He said, don't worry about it. But it's still in the back of my head. So, but I was cleared to have surgery because it was postponed for March 16th. Along with that, I have a whole lot of other things going on, which is in reference to my house, and like I shared that with you. And I'm looking to keep it. I want to be able to keep my home because I've been through so much as far as being with my daughter and just surviving and making it my business, being my grandchildren's life and people doing things to me. And now I have an apartment to live in, and that possibility might not even be there because somebody did something. You know, also while I was in the shelter and I was applying for apartments in reference to like Housing Connect, what I found out was that I had the lady, there was somebody assigned to put the income in the system for you while you were in the shelter and an apartment. So I was happy about it. I'm going to put my document stuff in and everything, which I did. Come to find out, they told me I was in LA. And I wanted to know why. You know what they told me? I wasn't making the money that I claimed that I was making. Well, I wanted to know what the hell was that? Because I know for myself what I'm making, which was at least $50-something thousand. The person who they had in charge of helping people in reference to putting their income information in the system for Housing Connect, she put $70-something thousand. Now these is people who's supposed to be helping you, and look what did happen. The other thing is that my own case manager said to me, because I had a pension, wasn't a lot of money. She said, Miss Headley, with my job, I was making $33,000 with my pension. That's 50-something. She said, Miss Headley, you getting more money than me. I'm thinking about what I'm supposed to do about that. You know, I don't know how anything works. I'm here to get help. And this is what has happened to me. And so something has happened again. When I was asked in reference to my application about, is this my income as far as what I make? I told them, yeah, because that's what I was making. So I wasn't I was not telling the truth about it. I told them about my income, my earned income. That's what they asked me about. Now, I may be dealing with not having a home to live in, and it actually is in my head. I don't have anybody else to talk about this. I don't want to experience this. I don't have no. I don't want to experience these thoughts in my head, and I've been actually trying to get rid of it. You can't get rid of something that's bothering you, and so I got to go through the process as far as because there's a new thing that's happening with emergency housing voucher turning over to something called Home T-Bruh. And I'm scheduled to have surgery also. Now this all supposed to happen, which they said in March to June. So it's a rolling effect. Things just which is a rolling effect. And I'm thinking, well, what you gonna do, Rosetta? Because I don't know when they're gonna start calling me. So the only thing I can think of, I still got to think about my health, even though I have this situation going on with this housing, and I'm going to just go have my surgery, because if I don't, I'm gonna deal with the situation, and if I do have the surgery, at least I won't be dealing with the situation, but I'll be still dealing with the housing situation. So there's no win-win thing here at all. So that's what I'm going to do. And that's all I got to say. I don't know what could help me. If I'm leaving my job, because I need to have a roof over my head. Will it help me? I don't know. But I'm 64. I've got medical issues going on. Well, I'll be 64 and I got medical issues going on. And like I said, I have no support, not like I did before. And when I say what I mean when I say not like I did before, because that was like 10 years ago, in regard to when I left my apartment, and then my daughter became a substance abuser, and she was an MTA bus driver, and this happened to her, and then I was going to school to become a nurse, and I couldn't go back because I couldn't think. Couldn't think anymore as far as my school was concerned, and my mind was going back and forth like a switch based on focusing on my daughter, thinking about my daughter, and thinking about schoolwork. How can you function? And she's my only daughter. The only thing I could think of doing, although I didn't even have a place then to live. Well, I can't say live. I had people who supported me. That's what I meant to say. um, was to focus on my grandchildren, because they had been taken away from their mom, and I thought about their heart. And I felt like I was going to crack up. But God didn't allow me to do that. But God didn't allow me to do that. And I got through it. Today, I got through it when I got an apartment. My grandchildren, they still going through their stuff, you know. But they all right. One of the things is because I said I made a decision to be there. I made my presence be there, and because I was all that they had. Those kids didn't ask to come here. Um, and all I could think about was their heart. But along with that, I lost myself. I lost things that I could have been focusing on to help me to improve myself at that time. Because I was like I said, I was going to nursing school. I was in midlife crisis. I'm still in midlife crisis. And I just need to share what's happening with me, because I need to talk about it. I know I said something about being a coach. I can be a coach. But you know, just like I have myself have situations going on, and other people have situations going on. Why I can be a coach, because my thing is I can help people based on things that I know in my head, and because I work with homeless people, but I also need to be coached too. Like I need to feed in some. I would like to feed into people, and I want somebody to feed into me. But I don't have that at the moment, you know. But one of the things I have done is, like, I've always been searching. I'm a searcher, like looking for positive information to fill my spirit, to lift me up. Because not too long ago, with having this situation in reference to my housing, I felt like I wanted to crack up, or I wanted to kill myself, you know, because of all that I've been through. Like, and I got an apartment now to think about. That I might be losing it. It's like, how much can you take? How much can you take? I know the Bible says, God, I'm not religious, but I am spiritual, and because of things that I have learned in regard to the Bible, it says in 1 Corinthians, I think it says, God will not give you too much that you can't bear. But along within your trials or whatever, He'll make a way out. Well, that's what I keep thinking in my head, and trying to be centered, like calm. But I need to talk about it. And I don't have too many people I can talk to, so I'm sending it out. Give me some feedback. See, the other thing is, I'm living my own individual life, and everybody else is living their own individual life. And based on the circumstance, I can only share with you, like, I know what's in my thinking, in my mind. Solutions can come about, but it's like it actually needs to be talked out to come to a solution. So I'm sharing this with y'all today, which is February 28th, so you would know what's happening with me. And I'm going to come back. I know you haven't saw me in, like, I think 2 months. The end of December, then January, February, 2 months. But I've been wanting to come back and talk. So that's what's happening with me. And the release is important. The release is important. So one more thing. So I went on. They had a Section 8 or HPD. They had this meeting today. Actually, a recording. They had a question and answer session. That question and answer session was not for the public. It was based on whatever they already conjured up to think about, that this is what could be the question a client may ask, and they're answering it for them. But we also have individual questions, which is what refers to ourselves. Like in reference to myself, this thing all gonna start in March to June. My lease expires March 31st. I did renew it in December of 2025. So this is another thing that I'm saying, but I don't even know where I'm standing at. All I can do is go through it. But I got to think about my health. My health is important too. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to think about my health. I'm going to go ahead and get my surgery done. It's a win-win situation. In life, my life is, I need an apartment, but my life is important too because I want to live. I'm slowly, I'm 64, he's 64. So I'm slowly, going that way, transitioning. I don't know what day I'm leaving, but at least if I can help myself to prolong it, I want to do that too, because I want to be here on this earth to see my grandson graduate. He's 15 years old. He'll be 16 this year. And that's what I want to see. Oh, one more thing. So I never made a choice to change my telephone number, because I don't know if I told y'all that I made it my business, even though I made it my business to be in my grandchildren's life, I made it my business to be in my daughter's life, meaning being present, trying to get her out from out of the street, and everything I did with those kids, I shared it with her. Meaning I went to go visit her where she was in the street, the drug addicts know me. And she called me 2 weeks ago to tell me, let me know she got arrested. And so I wanted her to tell me the story. So one thing though, what she did, she applied for Social Security disability when she was in this situation as far as her problem with the substances. And that worked her out of being an MTE bus driver. And so all these years she has been getting a check. And I'm telling you the truth, I tried to cut it off because my thing is that money coming into her, it wasn't helping her to get off the drugs. It was helping her to continue to consume it. And that hurt, the pain in reference to the fact of what she's been through and what I've experienced because I'm her mother. That seemed like it would never go away. And when I encounter experiences or be in her presence, my mind is still bothered. It affects my whole being. But the pain is not as hard as it was before, but it's still there. So the fact that she told me she got arrested, I said, okay, now when I get up and I go out in the street or I look on the train or whatever, or see the homeless people, I don't have to think about, well, my daughter's out there, because I know where she's at. And and so she was telling me about what happened, and she said, "You the only person I can call and talk." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Mm-hmm." I said, and another, I want to let you know, and this is the reason why I never changed my telephone number. I said, because I needed my telephone number, so when you call me, or if anybody called me, because I gave my telephone number to the substance abusers that she would be out with in the street. Call me and let me know what's going on with my daughter. And she called me and she let me know that she got arrested. So now I just think about, well, I don't have to look for her because I know where she's at. But one thing I would like, if I could help her, because she's a good person, it's just that she got caught up in to help her get into a mandatory treatment program, because her kids want to see their mom, and that was one of the last conversations I told her before we were disconnected from the prison phone line. But I'm going to go see what's going on, after my surgery, or because she has a court date in April. I'm going to go see what's going on and how I can get to talk to the lawyer or whatever. Because my daughter said she kicked somebody's butt because they were trying to take her money. And listen, I believe her. I believe her because she gets a check every month. And just think about that, somebody who get a check every month, but yet and still they out there homeless, and they look like they got a situation going on. So where the hell did she get all this money from? You understand? That's what I'm talking about. So I think I gotta get to try to speak to a lawyer, somebody. This is my conversation I'm having, coming from me, from what I know, what I'm thinking. But there's more to it, or could be more to it. What is that? So that's all I gotta say. It's been half a damn hour that I've been talking. But I'm talking about my life. There's other things that affect me too. But people, I've done something in my past that I wish I hadn't done. But I'm not a bad person either. But the thing is, because people have been hurt, people tend to carry their pain with them. Me too. But they also want to make another person's life miserable, or do things to hurt them, or whatever. Why? gotta go.